APC national leader Bola Tinubu says there is no difference to be sorted out. After meeting APC caretaker committee, we analyze the future of the party after the NEC meeting. And the Lagos government has set an August date for the reopening of schools, but that is only for some of the students, not all of them. Find out details shortly. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloye in Lagos. Let's begin tonight by telling you about some of the updates regarding COVID-19 and some of the things that it has stopped us from doing, especially our children that are being at home. Now, this is about the issues of schools reopening in Lagos, the nation's commercial capital. The governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has fixed August the 8th as a date for students in graduating class to resume classes in line with the federal government's directive. Encourage educators to continue to take advantage of online classes as regular schools cannot be allowed to resume for now.
All schools and educational institutions will remain closed. We continue to support online teaching of curriculum during this period. However, students in the transitional classes who have the mandatory public examinations ahead of them will be permitted to resume for revision classes and, of course, for the examination. And so, for the avoidance of doubt, students impacted by these directives will be in the transitional class of JS3, SS3, and Tech 3, the teaching, the technical education schools 3 as well. The commencement date for this will be from Monday, August the 3rd, 2020. Monday, August the 3rd. For JS3, Tech 3 will be the first that will start. And for for SS3 and Tech 3 will be the one that will start. But for JS3, we'll wait for another 1 or 2 weeks and we'll see how we take in the first set of Tech 3 and SS3 before they now subsequently will open.
Well, now we have some other stories coming from across the nation. Some governors are taking measures also. Let's hear from them and what they are doing now on our political roundup.
The Kwara State Governor has warned that relaxation of guidelines of COVID-19 should not be taken as an avenue to flout the directive to avoid the spread of the virus. The governor gave the warning while receiving 3 ambulance vehicles donated by a Kwara-based company. He noted that people should continue to put on their nose masks and adhere to the guidelines to avoid the spread.
We have to keep this social distances and be a responsible citizen.
The Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule says the state is working to secure the release of 30 persons recently abducted from the Nasarawa local government area. He said this at the preamble of the State Executive Council meeting today.
All the police, DSS, the Air Force and the military to ensure that we are able to rescue the people who have been kidnapped and taken into the bush in that area.
The Cross-River State Governor, Professor Ben Ayade, has commended President Muhammadu Buhari, the NCDC, the Federal Ministry of Health, and the State COVID-19 Response Task Force for the skillful management of the pandemic. The governor expressed delight that the state has so far remained free of the virus, irrespective of being surrounded by Cameroon and states with confirmed cases around it.
While the borders are open, our eyes will remain open. While the borders are open, our medical professionals will remain open. We must continue to stay on our borders. We must continue to police them.
And today, members of the National Assembly came to Lagos to condone the family of their late colleague, Senator Bayo Oshinowo, who died few days ago. The senators called first at the residence of the late lawmaker. Later on, the lawmakers all marched to the Lagos State Government, where they met with the governor and some members of his cabinet.
Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get to our main conversation for tonight. It's about the leadership of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, which issues around the leadership has taken some interesting dimension in recent days. Yesterday, the caretaker committee led by the chairman and governor of Yobe State, May Malabuni, embarked on two trips. First, to the the acting chairman of the party, Chief Bisi Akonde, in Ilarogun, and then to Lagos to see the national leader, Bola Tinubu. But for those who believe that the All Progressives Congress is on the path of disintegration due to its recent leadership crises, may be shocked at the stance of Mr. Bola Tinubu and also that of the caretaker committee, who are giving assurances that all is well with the party. The committee was led on the visit by the chairman, Governor of Yobe, Malabuni, and some other members of the Progressives Governors Forum in attendance, including the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Take a listen to what Bola Tinubu, APC leader, said after the meeting.
We discussed the future from here. Sincerely, we have trust and respect for the character of the chairman of the caretaker committee. So, and willing to support him to succeed, for the party to continue its crusade of progressive governance in the country. And that's all. We have never been divided. In politics, you can be born with a disagreement now. Not everybody is a zombie. We have no differences to be sorted. We just have consultation, and that consultation is how our party, the APC, will continue to be a progressive party. Politics without, seeming media crisis will be less interesting, depending on your persistent question. But the question is, are we committed to building this party and Nigeria? And that is what we're all about. So we don't let that one consume you. We are steering the ship of our nation and our party in the right direction.
So when politicians say, look, whatever you're saying is a family affair, we hear this a lot of the times. Whatever you see now, we are able to resolve it. Whatever is happening now, there is no problem. We'll hear this over and over again. But tonight, let's take a look at what the future of the APC looks like after the decision of the National Executive Committee of the party, NEC, which is perhaps one of the highest organ of the party. Tonight, I have joining me a former member of the House of Representatives, one also who is not an alien to crises and how to resolve them. Honorable Abdulmumin Jibrin joins us from our Kano studio. It's good to see you again, Honorable Abdulmumin Jibrin. Let me start the conversation. What you have an insider perspective to what is happening, and I know that you are always frank with your thoughts. Give us an understanding of what is happening in your party. Sincerely speaking, is this about 2023?
Thank you very much, Seun, and don't overpraise me that I'm always very frank. Well, I will try to always do my best. Now, I think the whole crisis in the party, if you look at it, the structure, the pattern, the contending forces, it is all about a battle for the heart of the party to take over the control of the party. And when all these actors, or when you see people all within the party, fighting to take charge of the party, to take charge of the heart of the party and control the party, you ask yourself, why do you need to take over the party? The party do not do not own instrument of rewards, do not give appointments, do not share anything of such. So what is at the center is power. And what are the next sets of power that people will be seeking for? The major one is the presidency. So if anybody tells you that 2023 is not in the center of the crisis that is facing the APC at the moment, he is not being honest, he is not being realistic. So I fully believe and I strongly believe that 2023 is in the center of the whole crisis that is going on. But what is even more important at the moment is how do we navigate? How do we navigate? How do we ensure that we keep on going, building the party to continue to be strong, cross over the 2023, because I actually believe that what the APC need at the moment is integration, fully integration. You all know, everybody knows very clearly that the party was formed by different groups, of course, the CPC, the ACN, the ANPP, and of course, the new PDP. Of course, the PDP, it's been decimated. Maybe all of us are surviving as individuals within the party. So 2023 is an opportunity for the party to integrate. And if we fail to get the party fully integrated in 2023, then we will begin to see or appreciate the fact that we face with a very serious risk. But for now, we have ample time. We have opportunity. The president has waded into the crisis. I think under the circumstances, he did what he could, and that is the best. And a committee has been set up, the caretaker committee. The governor of Yobe State is heading the committee, someone who is seen as level-headed. And even though if he has sentiment for a particular side, he is seen by every other contending force in the party as somebody that they can do business with. I think he has a very difficult responsibility, because the whole essence, or the people that are contending, also have their objectives. So are we faced with a situation of a graveyard peace, or will people fully compromise and have a situation of give and take the way we had in 2015? Are we going to be able to sit in a room and be able to share power, allocate power, zone power, whatsoever, and try to substantially make everybody comfortable within the family? Or we've gotten to a point where the crisis will be irreconcilable? Of course, I know in politics, at the end of the day, there are people who will leave the party, there are people who will come into the party, but that is not what we wish. So we'll watch and see how our event unfold. But primarily, I believe that 2023 is in the center of this.
Honorable Jibrin, should one be surprised that the fourth port of call of the caretaker committee after the NEC meeting, when they are visiting leaders of the party, is this other side that we call the Tinubu side, Chief Bisi Akande and Bola Tinubu? For a lot of people who said that decision of NEC has an effect on the Bola Tinubu family of the APC, are they wrong or are they right?
Well, there are certain things that are conspicuous. They're clear. Two forces were in a fight, and it is being made to look all the decision that was taken edge out somebody that probably people believe that the national leader of the party is supporting him. So, of course, even if people do not come out to say, you should be able to draw a conclusion that perhaps he will not be so happy. Anybody will not be happy. But it is not yet the end of the game. Politics is a continuous process, and in this process of reconciliation, it is also expected that members of the National Working Committee that were just wiped away once up and the rest, they will also be consulted, try to reintegrate them into the party. Of course, Tinubu as a person, as a leader of the party, everybody appreciate the fact that he contributed the best that he could for the party. Like every other human being, he has his own limitation. But the most important thing is that we all must agree that compromise must be made. There is no how. Not two people can become president in 2023. Only one person can become president of the party. And so when you go with a mindset that it's a do or die affair, then we are setting the party on the path of self-destruction. And that is why there are a lot of decisions that we need to start taking at the moment. There are a lot of debates about zoning, about what zone that you're supposed to have, what zone it's supposed to have the presidency, what zone is supposed to have what and what. All these conversations are on. But again, we've gotten to a point where we need to start putting them into action. So some people might say, oh, it's too early. But sometimes it's better you get these things done early enough so that whosoever wants to fight against it, he might leave the party and you will have the ample opportunity to repair whatever damage he has caused than leaving it to the 11th hour.
So, Honorable, let's take a breather. But when we come back, we talk about what your party stands is, or what the body language within the leaders of the, in the leaders of the party in talking about on the issue of 2023 and the politics of it, which is perhaps taking a lot of the conversation. And of course, we talk about Kano politics and yourself after this break, everyone. Join us again.
The task before us is daunting, and we need their experiences, guidance, and prayers. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm a good host. I'm happy to have all my colleagues here in Lagos, and indeed, it's been a very fruitful conversation we held this evening.
Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation about the politics of the leadership of Nigeria's ruling party, the All Progressives Congress. In the post-NEC meeting, which disbanded the National Working Committee of the party. So where does the party go from here? Honorable Abdulmumin Jibrin is a leader of the party, a former member of the House of Representatives. Thank you so much, Honorable Jibrin, for talking to us tonight. Let me quickly get your view. Since you mentioned it, look, the whole crisis in the party that we've seen that led into the decision of the NEC was just about 2023. But the zoning issue is also a conversation I understand that the majority of the members of your party are talking about. Where does this leave the party? Which zone is the party looking at?
Well, personally, if I want to give you my opinion, I strongly believe, because looking at the history of the APC, how we came together and everything, and there is, even if there is no written agreement, I think there's, of course, a gentleman agreement that power should move to the southern part of the country. And so I actually believe that, and I'm actually committed to the fact that power should move to the southern part of the country. But even within the southern part of the country, there are contending forces. Ordinarily, you would have said the Southwest should have the right of first refusal if they are really organizing themselves that they should. I was having a conversation with a friend earlier, and I was giving an example that when the northern part of the country, or the instances when the northern part of the country had the presidency, they first fought for the presidency to come to the northern part of the country before now reducing it to individual. Or you can take it on concurrently, but giving strength to bringing it to your own region first, then selecting the best that you can put forward for that position. But I don't see it. And I have had this conversation with a lot of my friends from the Southwest. And I say only the Southwest can stop the Southwest from having the presidency, because there's so much disagreement within themselves. So I think if they're able to put themselves together and come as one with a strong force, it will be difficult for the party not to cede the presidency to the southwestern part of the country.
Right.
But again, for now, it is open to all. But what I keep saying is that the leadership of the party has the responsibility to start navigating the party and narrowing down, however they want to do it. There's so many ways you can go about it. Narrowing down this to a particular way that people can be able to start having a slight idea where the party will be tilted towards. And to some extent, people will say it. People might say it will generate more controversy, but again, it is better you have such controversy early enough. I have said it earlier in my discussion, that it is better for you to have all this asymmetric shock earlier in the day than to have it later in the day.
All right, so let me take you up on, because you are a member of the new PDP that came into the APC. From that wing and the understanding of that background, the PDP, for example, pre-2015 election was enmeshed in this kind of trouble that your party is facing. So it looks like a deja vu, isn't it, for some of you? Do you think that your party can go to the Nigerian people and ask for another term in office in the post-2023 of President Muhammadu Buhari, based on what your party had promised Nigeria, change, and ask for another opportunity to be elected? Has your party performed to that point?
I didn't get the question from the background that you gave, but I think towards the end, maybe you concluded by saying, do I think that we deserve to go on to ask Nigerians for continue to vote us again in 2023? Absolutely. I have no any doubt that we've done substantially enough. And often that, of course, there are challenges. Everybody accept the fact that we still have a lot of challenges, the security, the situation that you have. The COVID-19 has come over again, complicated things for us. And this government has actually suffered twice. As a former chair of finance and appropriation of the House, I can tell you this. During the time of the previous administration, at least the last the dispensation between 2011 and 2015, the economy was doing pretty well. Crude was selling at about 100, 110, even 115 at some point. But immediately this present government came on board, we had the economy downturn. Crude crashed to about $40, even at $35. Then again, after 2-3 years, again, crude crashed again for the second time. So if you are looking at this, taking into also cognizance that government is the biggest spender in Nigerian the economy, government need to spend, and it has direct implication on the general health of the economy. You will also understand that the government has had much more little resources to operate with than previous government. But again, that is not an excuse not to take responsibility where we haven't done well. When you talk about the security situation, I've had this conversation with people severally, even those who try to put too much blame on the shoulder of the president. I have said as a president, what are the things that I expected of you to do? You know, get the right people there, give them the necessary funding, design operation strategy and whatsoever you have and the rest. And with all the research that I've done within the system, the poor man has done the whole of these things. Perhaps the area of disagreement is people asking him to send away the service chiefs. So that is a conversation.
Honorable Jibrin,
but yeah. I believe that.
Honorable Jibrin, I have two questions, but we have less than 60 seconds. So let me shoot through the first one. For example, Mr. Kayode Ajulo said what the decision of NEC was is not the solution of the party, that the party needs a reconciliation because there are a lot of people who have bottled a lot of grievances against the party. Just in 30 seconds, do you believe so, that there needs to be a reconciliation committee for the party?
Well, if you look at I actually try to address this somehow in my earlier conversation. I have said it, that all the contending forces have their objectives. And people will continue to promote their objectives, whether at the level of the National Working Committee or outside the National Working Committee. There is no way you can resolve this crisis if people are not ready to make compromise. If everybody decides to be dogmatic, holding on its opinion, I want to be this or I want to be that, and I have to get it the way I want to get it, and that's going to be a problem. But again, in the whole of these things, what I keep preaching all the time is that fairness is very important.
I think it's going to be fair for us to close on this note and on this question, which I would like you to help answer just in 10 or 15 seconds. For those who believe or who have the thought that post-President Buhari's end of tenure in 2023, that your party will not be able to withstand the test of time. Do you believe that? Or what's your thought on that? Just in 10 seconds.
Honestly, at some point, I used to be one of those who hold that opinion. Because again, you will ask yourself, who is an individual within the party, apart from President Muhammadu Buhari, and of course to some extent Asuwaju Bola Tinubu, who has the capacity to hold the party. We've had robust conversation about this. And other people will tell them, oh, okay, well, Asuwaju has his own people, but he may not be able to hold the party generally. And in the center, even though I do disagree with that, I believe that if careful planning is done and the president acts timely as we proceed, we'll be able to integrate the party. Because I keep using the word integration. We need to integrate the party because the party is like a confederation. It's like everybody has a federating unit. The CPC are still operating as themselves within the party, the NPP, the ACN, and of course we, the PDP, that completely we've been destroyed because of individual ambition and the rest. So you need to get this party mixed together, like forming a nation out of it for you to be able to call it a day.
Abdulmumin Jibrin, it's a pleasure seeing you again and hearing your thoughts on some of your party issues. Thank you so much indeed for spending time with us on the program. Honorable Abdulmumin Jibrin, former member of the House of Representatives. Thank you. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. Bye-bye.